Hey guys, it's another peaceful AS. I can't do it. I can't do it, dude. I don't know. Anyway, actually, I've been making these vlogs again because people are asking, and sometimes when I make these, I get messaged by certain people from back in the day in the video game community, and I saw Marcel, who was friends with a lot of these Team Serious guys back then, and he posted something about all this stuff too, you know. And I had like an anime Jesus or like an anime like Shakespeare. I've never been so smart in my life, right? And I was just thinking about that, what he posted, and I was like, man, it's like some people like fighting games are like a competitive escape from reality, right? And I said that phrase to myself, and I realized that I was the fucking smartest dude that you've ever probably not met. So anyway, I want to talk about that, how fighting games are interesting. Well, you could say that most things in life, I guess there's almost like a competition in life to see who wins, right? I mean, geez, from lots of different social aspects, everyone is always trying to outdo each other in different ways. And maybe I tried to put on some like peaceful music while I was doing this, but maybe it's too loud. Fuck it. I wanted to have some calming, sleepy music like this, but so, even like there's like competitions, like again, when I talk about like relationships between humans and everything like that, even like boy girl kind of stuff, or just guy guy, there's a lot of like social value, and social proof is so important. And there's like a competition with that, right? So, and just a competition to see who wins at the end of life before you die, right? But video games are a little bit interesting because video games, on some level, you would think they're just a hobby, right? They're just a escape from reality. But fighting games are something interesting video game wise, because fighting games are like a competitive escape from reality, right? Do you get what I'm saying? Hopefully that word sounds really deep, because when I said it to myself, I was like, I'm the smartest dude ever. Like I said, I mean, I'm jacking myself off DSP style right now. But so inherently, one of the things I've talked about, and this goes a lot of the subjects I talk about, everyone wants to be the star quarterback and why fighting games are the way they are, right? Inherently, someone does have to win in a fighting game. So it is competitive, right? It's like a conundrum of having fun. It's like people are in a, there's ultimately going to be a competition to see who can have the most fun. And that's an interesting thing about fighting games, right? Comparatively to like other video games, like I mean, God, I like visual novels, right? I'm not in a competition to see who can jack off to this character more than me. I don't care. I don't care about your stroke game, dude. It doesn't matter to me. If I'm playing Mega Man X, I'm not in a competition against anyone to see who can beat Mega Man X faster. Again, I don't know if there's drama in the speedrunning community. Maybe there is, right? But again, it's a single player game, right? Sonic. I'm not in a competition with anyone, right? It's just a escape from reality, in a sense, you could say, to have fun. But fighting games is a competitive escape from reality. And it brings out the same evil nature that is in just maybe humans in general, right? Because competition, actually, I was actually going to say, has anyone ever heard that term, pressure makes diamonds? So I was going to say something really cheesy right there. Anyway, fuck it. Continue. So competition can bring out the best and the worst in us. But fighting games are interesting because fighting games are supposed to be an escape from reality. Like video games, it's just a hobby. It's a competitive hobby, which is kind of strange, right? It's almost it's kind of like funny if you think about the term esports. It sounds kind of silly to me, but in a way, video games that are competitive is a sport, because you could think of like a lot of sports are just hobbies, but you can reach a certain level that the hobby becomes competitive, because you can start to get some social proof from the hobby. Even other hobbies, maybe you like art, maybe you like music. At first, it's not a competitive thing. If you're drawing, you're just having fun with yourself. You're enjoying something. I want to color on something or something, or I want to make some music. It's not competitive, maybe at first, but then as you go on and on, then it can become competitive. But again, at a basic level, I think most people probably don't think of video games as a hobby that is competitive or a competitive escape from reality. Oh yeah, RPGs are a great example, right? RPGs. God, RPGs. People think I love fighting games, dude. I love RPGs so much. I love getting involved into like an RPG, and that's why I was like, God. Sometimes I just walk around and do jack shit in RPGs because I enjoy it, right? Because I'm a nerd, I guess, and escape from reality, right? You read a book. Reading books might be a hobby. It's an escape from reality, but it's not a competitive one. But fighting games are, right? And so fighting games, interestingly enough, unlike a lot of other video games and hobbies, bring out the worst in people. And it's interesting because other video games and other hobbies don't necessarily do that, right? So fighting games are special, right? Some people also say that fighting games take the most technical skill out of other games, right? More skill than first person shooters and all this other kind of crap. I've never played any of those games competitively, so I can't fucking tell you. I don't fucking know, dude. It doesn't matter to me, but you know what I mean? But again, fighting games, because there is an inherent competitive nature, it brings out the worst in people. And so I've told all these stories about how scummy the community is. And let me get into this too, because I saw someone posted on Reddit another Clayton thread. Like I've seen multiple Clayton threads on Reddit, people asking about me. I see multiple people posted in the comments. I've seen other threads throughout the years of people talking shit. And it's interesting because and I made this comment. I was like, I don't know what you guys want because you guys ask me to tell you why I have a chip on my shoulder, and I tell the story, and I've showed links, you know what I mean, all this kind of crap, proof that it all happened. And people are like, oh, I don't want to read that. I don't want to watch that. So why do you have a chip on your shoulder? And it's like, well, I mean, the short version is just what I told you. Like the community is scum. They took the fun out of it and they made up a bunch of lies. I'm like, well, no, explain. And it's like, well, dude, well, you got to pick one or the other, dude. I've made these videos for you guys that are asking. What do you want? You know what I mean? There's been proof. I mean, again, the fact that again, people try to say I made up that I was sick. It's like, dude, how many years now? Well, here's my medical record. You think I faked it? Try to say it wasn't me. It's like, dude, it's me in the pictures. It's my name on the medical records. Oh, you paid off your doctors, right? Like, think about how competitive an escape the this escape from reality has become so competitive that people have made it real life. Their escape from reality has become a delusion to some people, right? They've started having a competition who can have more fun with each other at a hobby. Like I'm trying to like people are trying to have a competition who can have more fun, who can enjoy the game in the same way that I can, or who has had the most problems in their life. Like look at a common thing that people have tried to say that I look for attention or whatever, I'm a narcissist or some bullshit, right? Well, again, this is so easily disproven because I quit video games. I quit tournaments while I was winning. If I was looking for attention, why wouldn't I have kept trying to enter? Even because I was still winning, even though I was sick, right? I mean, so if I was looking for attention, why didn't I keep playing? I went off into my own little thing, and I'm just gonna make combo videos. I don't need to go and be around these people. Like, there's no looking for attention. I'm okay. It's like, okay, I see we don't get along, so I'm gonna go be by myself. I'm going to enjoy the game, a game that is competitive, even a game that is a competitive escape from reality, and I'm going to enjoy it in my own way because I don't want to be in a competition to have fun. So how was I looking for attention by quitting? Do you see, like, and like, so you must think psychologically there must be something wrong with these people. They're this escape from reality. They've started living in a delusion. It's like, oh, Clayton's so narcissistic. I guess he did quit video games for 10 years. He's never entered a tournament. I guess actually, yeah, it's been 10 years, right? Yeah. And the community was so butthurt that I don't go to tournaments. I just make combo videos, and they're like, oh, we got to say he's cheating. Like, what are you guys talking about? Or what about, say, Clayton faked being sick? Like, dude, another thing people think if I was looking for attention, no one would ever guess that I am sick unless they actually saw me sick or whatever, they've seen me, right? No one would have known because, or well, I guess when I was losing my hair, right? Which ooh, some people try to make up that, I did that on purpose. Like, give me a fucking break, dude, right? People wouldn't have known that I was sick because, okay, how about this? Why would I have, okay, like, how about this? Some people try to say, oh, Clayton has half naked pictures of himself on the internet, right? Oh, yeah, I do. It's supposed to be motivating to show that just because I was sick, I forced myself to stay healthy, right? But of course, this delusion, this competitive escape from reality that has become this new a delusion in their mind and like a new reality, right, or some kind of crap that they're trying to like make a false reality out of this delusion or something. And it's like if I wanted attention for people thinking that I'm sick, why would I post pictures where I look buff? Because no one would believe me. You know what I mean? If anything, it's supposed to be motivating. It's not supposed to be looking for attention that I'm sick, right? Did you get what I'm saying? So I feel like every time I hear people try to talk shit, their logic is always immediately can be countered. Any lie that anyone has ever tried to make up about me, I've immediately been able to call it out. But people are in such a mindset of this competitive escape from reality, like, no, I need to have the most problems. And I've told this before too in other video game vlogs. When I've met a lot of other sick people too, I have met people in the hospital that are in like competitions with who can be the most sick, whose life is the hardest, right? It's insane. People will try to make a competition out of anything, right? And sometimes it feels like. And if I was looking for attention, why would I have withdrawn from all these communities? Because I can enjoy something my own way. I don't need to make it competitive. I don't want competitive. I don't want something that's supposed to be fun to be competitive anymore because there's no competition for me. It doesn't matter. I don't want to like fight about something stupid. But then, of course, and then you have people say like, oh, you only care about people hating on you. And you see these people, it's like, dude, does anyone actually look at my YouTube comments? Every now and then I go through YouTube and I try to respond to every fucking single person that messages me. I respond to a lot of people, but people only focus on the negative stuff that I call people out on. Like, yeah, if you're going to talk shit about me, I'm going to talk shit back to you. So people only focus on that and say that I'm negative, and they fail to see all the other posts where I say thank you to people that watch my videos, whatever. Remember, people are trying to hate on the disband guy, who's basically like a gimmick of my channel now, right? I said, stop. I made a public post saying, don't hate on this dude, right? I've made public videos saying thank you to people that defend me and shout me out and watch my videos. And yet there's still people going to post, oh, Clayton is only negative. He's looking for attention. Well, what are you talking about? You are the one that is living in this false reality. You're in a competition to have fun. You're in a competition with this escape from reality, this video game, with someone who doesn't care about the competition anymore, part of it, who is just having fun, right? So do you see how like kind of crazy that stuff is, right? And these haters keep going on and on. What I mean? Lie after lie. And I just thought that, and that was funny too, because again, then you think about, because I saw Marcel posting, he was talking about like, and I have heard that Kenji had taken money from people and stuff like that too. I didn't want to post that because I didn't want to like throw Kenji under the bus because, some people think I'm purposely doing that, which is not the case because I've said many times before, I'm just trying to be an objective person, right? I've defended Kenji many times. I've hell, even Destin, I talked shit about Destin in that video, but I've also said good things about him, right? I'm just calling it is what it is, right? But yeah, no, I saw Marcel post that. And he's like, yeah, dude, all that did happen. He's like, it's even worse than you thought. He's like, he was doing all this other stuff too behind people's backs too. Like, so many people were fucking with people. And, I've heard many stories about that of the community, that so many people, because yeah, like Marcel posted on that video, and then some other old school guys posted on some of the older videos. And sometimes I get messages about it too. And so many of these people that were like knee deep thick, or whatever that saying is, in the drama and could have done stuff to help people and were actually part of the drama or something like that, you find out years later that they were screwing people over and fucking over people so much, dude. And yet the community, look at who the dude was. The dude that was actually trying to be the most honest dude there. Look at the dude that they fucking shamed, right? And then years later, I hear about, even Kenji, which is crazy to me. I didn't know Kenji had stolen that much money from people. I didn't realize that. I had heard a little bit about it, but I kind of was hoping it wasn't true. But I'm guessing maybe it was now to hearing about that stuff. But, God, even say something like, let's not get into all the stories about all the terrible stories I've heard about people. But, I just think it's crazy. And then there's this thing, like, people wonder why I have a chip on my shoulder because there's still people that talk shit and talk about this delusion of things that didn't actually happen. And you know what I mean? And so I think it's one of those things like this is why I've said before in these psychological videos, I think that it's always better to be the asshole because people always kind of try to forgive the asshole because they think that something bad must have happened to them. That's why they're being an asshole. And when someone's actually being honest and like truthful, they think they must be hiding something, right? They must actually be shady, which can be the case at times, right? I mean, everything, you can't judge everyone the same, right? I mean, you got to judge everyone on a person-to-person basis, but I think it's just like a common trend to what people tend to think sometimes. But again, it's like people heard this lie that I did this or I did this or I did this, and it kind of like spirals into a snowball effect, I think it's called, right? They're like they're putting fire over this arson because it's like not a real fire. It's like like a false fire of bullshit. So it's like an arson or something, right? And then to hear that so many people in this community have actually been outed at one time or another, which I didn't know about. I didn't even know about. I didn't even know about the Kenji stories, right? And it's like, man, dude, that's crazy, dude. And yet people remember me, think that I'm like, like I'm the chicken or the egg. I was the first person that did. People are really like, all these people, they were also in the community too that were actually doing more fucked up shit. Well, I took the blame. But then that story still stays around, and all these other people that are in the community, whatever going on now, just like I guess they've gotten a free pass, and they've apparently found tons of shit about them. That's crazy, dude. But you know what I mean? Convenience of perspective. That's another thing I think I talk about. It's convenient. It's like, oh man, well this guy was always being nice to my face, so you know what I mean? He must have had his reasons, right? You know what I mean? I don't want to believe that this person that I thought was my friend was actually one of the bad guys, and that's crazy, right? But and just like I think too, I think one of my problems too is, and I've said this before, anyone that makes up lies about me, I don't fucking care if I heard you died or got cancer or whatever bullshit. You know what I mean? Like people, I think people have tried to like, they'll post like screen caps or something like that of me like going off on people, but they won't post what the person said before that or anything like that, right? They'll just try to like pick and choose, cherry pick stuff. And it's like, I'm honest, dude. Yeah. It's like a lot of times I've seen people post stuff. It's like, yeah, dude, I have said that, but have you seen all the stuff that dude said about me? You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, dude, and I think too, because you said too, there's no urge for me to forgive a lot of the things that the video game community did to me as a kid. And, they ruined my escape from reality, right? Because people know, if you've watched my vlogs or you know me, I didn't have a great life growing up. So one of my only fun moments that I had is when I got to play video games a little bit. And the community ruined that for me, right? You know what I mean? To think that they talk shit about me while I was sick and all these other lies they made up. But you know what I mean? So there's like no forgiveness for me. I don't forgive people, right? Why would I forgive you when you're a guy? Like, I mean, at least if you're a girl and you're hot, maybe my penis still wants to forgive you, right? I mean, because I kind of want to fuck you, maybe, depending on how much of a bitch you were, I guess. But so, whatever the case, I think sometimes people are probably like, oh, well, fuck, we can't admit what we did because it's not like Clayton is going to forgive us anyway, right? You know what I mean? And it's like, well, do we really want to admit that we've tried to hold true to this lie for all these years? You know what I mean? Against one person in the community. But, you know what I mean? It is what it is. What are you going to do? But again, at the end of the day, who's the person looking for attention? Because I withdrew from the community. I am my own dude. I'm doing my own thing. So what attention am I looking for? I've given credit. I've shouted many people out when they have said nice things about me. I've posted multiple things on my Twitter when people share my videos. Like, if this dude has shared my video multiple times, I said, thank you. I want to shout out this dude. But then people only focus on the negative because they're in this competitive escape from reality that has become a delusion It is now their actual reality. This is like some fucking big brain galaxy shit, dude. Right? You know what I mean? They have to stay this lie. They're like, man, I must have the hardest life. Clayton's life could not have been this hard. You know, this must be true. I must believe this. And again, I just think it's interesting because video games are a hobby, but the fighting game community is interesting because there is the inherent competitiveness of a fighting game. So I think fighting games are a little bit different because it is a escape from reality, or it is a hobby that is inherently competitive. And it's not just something like you might be an artist, you like to draw, you like to be a musician, you like to play music, you like to play sports. You know what I mean? But at those small levels, to say like that, people, you're just having fun, right? You know what I mean? It's not like you're playing in the NHL or the NFL or you're a fucking Grammy award-winning artist or making an anime, where the fuck, right? You know what I mean? So at very low levels, you know what I mean? The competition is still only with yourself. Whereas a fighting game, the competition, even at the very lowest level, is against someone. Do you get what I'm saying? So even though there's these other sports or there's being an artist or there's being a musician, at the very beginning, the competition is yourself. Whereas a fighting game, the difference is immediately you are in a competition with someone else. You are in a competitive escape from reality. And that brings out the worst in people. Anyway, that was my ASMR video. Let me turn on the music. You know, wait, that was Pillow Talk with that asshole you hate, Clayton Chapman. Final Showdown. Saishu Kissing. Dial Up Sucky. Ryu Rock ST. All these other fucking names that you've heard me by. So I'm gonna play this calming sleep music. I want you guys to relax a little bit. Bust a few nuts to your favorite hentai girl who has lots of daddy issues. And go to sleep. That's Clayton Chapman out with Pillow Talk. ASMR.